Well, I will tell you guys what. First and foremost, welcome back to the channel. If there was ever such a thing as a blue dominant week in this rotation, it's this week. 90% blue. Yeah, pretty much. There's only one non-blue fragrance in this entire video. Out of all of it. It's crazy how that works out. Which means there's some really good smelling mass appeal and stuff. And believe it or not, a big letdowns in this video too. And we're going to discuss it. It's week number 180. 180 weeks of this so far. That's crazy, huh? Of the weekly rotation. Stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday, one of the newer Mancera freshies that I'm glad I grabbed a bottle. Very much a citrusy, watery, but creamy and softly powdered fresh fragrance that is just soothing and relaxing on a hot summer's day. Has a little bit of class and elegance. It's Mancera's French Riviera. I really dig this one. I like this quite a bit. If you're not a fan of the Tyer flower note, you probably won't like this. Think big floppy white flowers. That kind of flowery smell. Those big floppy white petaled flowers. It is that at its core. Though I don't find it really leans all that feminine because it's supported by a lot of freshness, a lot of citrus, some aromatics, and it's very watery without being a salty, watery type of accord. It's not marine at all to me. With a nice clean musky tone, soft woods that kind of add to the creaminess. Performance is above average. Projection's not heavy. It's not some thing that's going to scream off the skin, but it lasts a long time, and it's kind of a moderate, to mild type of sillage where it's there, it's present, but it's never going to overwhelm you at any given point. This is beautiful. I think this is a beautiful, easygoing, super chill vibe, summertime niche. Never fails, whether I'm live or recording a video. That time it was a motorcycle. You never know what's going to fly by and make some noise. It was an ambulance earlier today. Crazy. But I digress. If you haven't sampled this one yet, I would strongly encourage you doing so. It's a relatively new release. It was from 2022, so it's not super new, but it hasn't been out for a long time, and it's been hitting the discounters. Links down below to all of these fragrances if you're interested in checking them out. But during the day, I was really vibing with Mancera French Riviera. Then we got the Shower, one that I actually quite enjoy. They got a bad rap when it came out. You can get it for 20 some odd, 30 buck range. I have a tester, that's why it doesn't have a cap. But it is the black sheep of the Wanted line. It is Wanted Tonic. See what I'm saying? It didn't come with a cap. It came with this little plastic sleeve to go over it. Lime ginger, nothing groundbreaking. Very enjoyable though. Crisp and fresh spicy. Juicy citrus. The way the ginger lime combo works out, it's very juicy. Even a little watery in some ways with a nice woody type of feel. I believe it's vetiver that provides that woody tone, if I remember correctly. It's nice. It's not as, as bad as some people on the internet have made it out to be. Now look, it's nothing remarkable. I'm not saying it's some must buy that, oh, you need to give this a chance. But I think it's better than it got the reputation it gained. I'm actually one of the few in the crowd that actually enjoys this one. I don't wear it that often, admittedly, but there's worse out there in the $25 to $30 range that you could get this for. It's a decent fragrance. I never understood the, kind of mediocre, not even lukewarm, but very mediocre reception this thing got when it came out. It's a fresher take on Wanted. They can't all just be spicy night fragrances. Sometimes you got to have something geared towards the day in the line, right? And that's what this was. And it was nice to wear out the shower. Decent performer, average range, 6-hour type of stuff. For something with tonic in the name, that's remarkable because normally those are super fresh and airy, whereas this has a little bit of rich, robust density to it. Like I said, it's decent. It's not as bad as some people have said it is, guys. Out the shower, Azzaro Wanted Tonic. A lot of you recommended over the years for me to get this, that I would enjoy it, and you guys were right. Everybody that said Dunhill Icon Racing was a fragrance for me was 100% right. I love this stuff. It's basically a more woodsy and spicy take on Invictus Aqua. Very similar, has that bubblegum feel, a little bit of grape soda in the top. I actually like that grape soda feel that some fragrances get. This one has it. Nice woody backbone, crisp and spicy, while still being a little aquatic. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. A little bit better than average, 6-7 hour range type of stuff on my skin. Nothing crazy, 6 to 8 hours, you could call it for the range. Average projection. Nothing crazy, average sillage, nothing crazy, but it smells really good. It's tame, but not weak, you know. Really dig this one. Like I said, if you're a fan of the Invictus Aqua style DNA scent profile, this is a woody twist on that. A little spicy. It's not super spicy when I say it's got this fresh spicy tone to it. It's more about the woods than it is about the spicy accord that was added to it. I'm not saying they were trying to replicate it, but it smells like they were going down that path, and in many ways maybe improved upon it, because I mean, no secret, Invictus Aqua 2018, my favorite fragrance. It holds a special place in my heart, but I don't know, this one kind of gives it a run for its money. I definitely like this more than Hawass too, because it doesn't smell as synthetic. Hawass is a monster. I'm not knocking Hawass is beautiful, but, and again, I put them in the same family, not the same exact scent, but this is definitely worth checking out. I'm super late to the party. Glad to have it now, though. During the day, Dunhill Icon Racing. And then I got the shower, one of the letdowns of recent pickups, because it's just so faint. But I mean, with a name like Eternity Air, I should have expected it to be super light and airy, as the name would indicate. Good gem fragrance, though, if you want something, wear a fragrance without kind of really wearing a fragrance, because at first, the ozonic notes dominate this so much, it literally just has this airy, faint, barely can smell it aroma at the top. It starts to settle into a little bit more of an aquatic, but it never becomes even an average performer on my skin, which, it is nice. My wife definitely enjoyed how this smelled. At the top, though, almost non-existent. It's got this ozonic accord that they created, and it's kind of pretty much all it is. And you almost don't, so I almost don't detect anything. It's very faint. And then, like I said, after about 5 minutes or so, starts to creep in a bit, a little bit of an aquatic tone, a little bit of woods. But again, nothing remarkable here. I put this one off for a long time, and maybe that was the universe trying to steer me away from this one. It's not bad. Doesn't smell bad. It just doesn't really smell. But again, I should have expected that. With a name like Air. I wore it out the shower. I ended up wearing it to the gym the next day too. I gotta say, for an out the shower fragrance, when you don't want to be overwhelmed, you just want something clean and fresh that's on the weaker side, it serves that purpose. Same thing goes if you want that for the gym, which I typically do. It serves that purpose. But as a daytime scent, I would look elsewhere, because you're not going to get much out of it. But it is decent. Out the shower, Eternity Air. Moving into Tuesday. Boy, we started off hot and ended the day very crappy, which we'll get to in a moment. But my favorite new Blueberry Aquatic. The blueberry note in here does shine. This is Juliette Has a Gun Ego Stratis. Recent acquisition. Just recently started wearing it, and I am enjoying this one. Ambroxan, it's a Blueberry Aquatic. It's aquatic, it's Ambroxan shower gel, but of pretty good quality here, because it is Juliette Has a Gun. They source some pretty good raw materials here, and of course some Ambroxan, obviously a synthetic, but it's well used. This is good stuff. It's zesty, but still sweet and fruity. And when I say zesty, I don't mean super spiced or orangey in any way. It's got this citrus, this fruity zest. Because as it settles, you start to get that blueberry note comes out more and more. It's an odd one, but I don't mean it in a challenging way. It's just, it doesn't smell like every other blue aquatic that I have, which is mega refreshing for me. Not just counting that it's a refreshing aroma, but it's refreshing that it's not super redundant to all the other blue fragrances I have in my collection, because I have a lot of blue fragrances. I mean, hell, most of what we're talking about in this video is either a blue or a light blue. Plain and simple. And this is definitely a blue with a fruity sweetness that's not overdone. Nice aquatic, oceanic feel without being too synthetic. Now, if you look on the internet, they'll say synthetic is one of the accords. Now, compared to other Juliette Has a Gun fragrances, sure, synthetic. But compared to other blue aquatics, not that synthetic. Not that synthetic. Good stuff, though. Going to be spending more time with this one. If you're interested in seeing a full review, definitely let me know in the comments. During the day, Juliette has a gun, Ego Stratis. Now for the letdown. I've tried this twice. I tried wearing it to the gym the next day. I don't like this. I did a full review, kind of poo-pooing on this one. Davidoff Cool Water Oceanic Edition. Now look, after a few hours when it dries down, it's pleasant, aquatic, woody smell. But the first like hour and a half is just hard to get through. It's got this super funky BO smell to me, even just smelling it out the atomizer. I get that. Now in the review, it was majority that have smelled it agree. A few don't get that. It's all good. It's all subjective. Everybody has a different interpretation. For me, this is something that is just going to be used for things I wish I didn't have, or things I don't like, or videos like that in the future. This is going to be a newer addition to those types of topics, because I don't like this one. I can't wholeheartedly recommend this one to you guys because I don't like it. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. This is not a good fragrance in my opinion. It saddens me too because I really like the Davidoff Cool Water line, and I finally came across one that just isn't for me. I don't like it. It's unfortunate. If you want some more details, definitely check out the full review. But out the shower, Davidoff Cool Water Oceanic Edition. Moving into Wednesday, my least favorite day of the year. But, you know, was being a little nostalgic because of the situation and decided to go daytime with the discontinued Aspen Discovery, a nostalgia pick for me. Very much a generic barbershop fragrance. It's nothing that hasn't been done to death before. It's literally, the note breakdown is citruses, lavender, woody notes, and musk. Or it might be spices. It's either musk or spices, but it's an aromatic fougere. Spicy aftershave type smell. It's a solid one, don't get me wrong. I mean, there was a time I loved this fragrance. The last 2 Christmases I had with my dad, he bought me this 2 years in a row, because the first year he bought it for me for Christmas. I loved it. Went through the bottle in a year. He asked which one you want this year. I said, get me that one again. So, nostalgic tie. This was because my dad used to get me a fragrance every year for Christmas. It became a thing at about 6th or 7th grade. From that point on, I would get a fragrance every year for Christmas. I used to love getting gift sets or stocking stuffer bottles like this, which the last go round it was a 1 ounce bottle. This is a 3/4 ounce bottle that I picked up. I have a few of these that I picked up from Fragrance Net years ago when I could get them for like $8 a piece. Loose, unboxed. Never fails, right? It's always somebody. As you can tell, my window's by the road, but I don't even know how easy it would be to find this. I'm sure you can find them on eBay. I don't know what prices are, but it's nothing worth rushing out and getting, guys. It's just a nostalgia pick for me. Average performance, 4 or 5 hours. Then it fades away, and I'm good with that because it's just pretty much on May 24th every year is literally the only time I wear this one, just for the situation, basically. But during the day, Aspen Discovery, long time nostalgia pick for me. Then that evening we went to dinner, and I just got this one, and I wanted to wear it. You want to talk about smoky goodness. Smoky, a little leathery. Man, is this stuff good. Wife loves it too. She kept telling me over and over how good this smelled. Narcotica, Doza, Amber Intense. Very smoky fragrance. Smoky, dry leather, warm and ambery, as the name would indicate. This is that, you know, statement maker, like an Amouage Overture Man type of thing. Like, I class it with that quality, the just uber masculine, smoky type of fragrance with that, like, choking power if you overspray it. I could taste it out in the air. I only did 3 sprays of that beautiful atomizer because that was all I needed. This stuff is immensely powerful for a dinner date. This was plenty. Like I said, my wife kept telling me how good I could smell because she could easily smell me with 3 sprays. Guys, this is worth trying. And I don't feel like it's too heavy for evenings out, even with us moving into warmer weather, because you're going to be in indoor settings most of the time, which is what I was. Like, it's pretty much, when it comes to date night fragrances, going to dinner, the season's kind of irrelevant because you're going to be inside. Just whatever's your go-to that your significant other really enjoys, that you get a lot of joy out of, wear that shit, you know? And that was the case here, because ever since the first impression, she smelled it, she loved it, I loved it. So I decided to wear it for the very next dinner date, and this is what I went with. Narcotica, Doza, Amber Intense. Moving into Thursday, one of the best smelling light blue fragrances I've ever put my nose on. It gets a bad rap because it's a weak performer, and yes, I can confirm it is indeed a weak performer. You're looking at 3 to 4 hours of longevity, hour at best of projection. You can spray your clothes with this one, you can bathe in this one. You definitely aren't going to offend anyone. You're going to smell incredible with YSL L'Homme Cologne Bleue. I'm a huge fan of this one. My wife really swayed me to get this one, and I agree, it smells amazing. It's just a weak performer. You can get it in the high 70s to $90 range from discounters online. You can try it at Sephora. I've sprayed it on my hand probably a handful of times, 4 or 5 times over the last couple of years at Sephora, and every time my wife would smell, I'd let her smell it, she'd be like, it smells so good. Don't you have this? No. Why don't you have this? Finally pulled the trigger. So good. Still has that gingery feel with this watered, aquatic accord. Little bit of spice, but really just overall bright, fresh, aromatic, and super mouth-watering. The ginger here, like I said, a little crisp, a little bit of spicy tone, like a spiced water in some ways, but immensely fresh, great on a super hot day to refresh you. Like I said, it gets a bad rap because of its performance, but you got to look past that sometimes. This just smells that good. I'm all about the wearing experience and enjoying the aroma, no matter how short-lived or long-lasting. This one has a spot in my collection, and recently, this week in particular, had a spot in my rotation. During the day, YSL L'Homme Cologne Bleue. Underrated stuff. Then I got the shower. This just came in from FragranceNet. I'm working on a review to do on my buddy Chad, A Gentleman's Journey's channel, and I started wearing that. I've worn it literally from here on, and again tonight when I take my shower, I'm going to wear it out the shower. I didn't think I was going to like this as much as I do. This is Kenneth Cole Mankind Unlimited. So what I get from this rubberized like silicone band, it's almost like a wristband for the water park because it's very summer water park feel. Fun, casual, because it's a zesty orange but very freshwater aquatic at the same time. This is good stuff. Decent performer. Performs a little better than this one. 4 to 5 hour range. Again, about an hour of projection, then it calms down, but this is quite the nice little cheapie. I now have 3 in this line, and this is easily my favorite. I have the original, I have Hero. I now have this one, and this is easily my favorite. This is a great, fun day out in the heat. That's what this fragrance makes me think of, not just because of the color scheme. Like, this adds to it, this orange rubberized silicone band, to go with, like, this color scheme really fits the actual aroma of the fragrance. It's light and watery with an orangey smell. Literally what you see is what you're going to smell. It's so good. I wore it on Thursday night. I wore it on Friday night. I'm going to wear it again tonight. 3 nights in a row. I'm rocking this one. I've really been enjoying it. By the time I get to doing that review, I'll have worn it probably 7 or 8 times before I film that footage to send it to Chad. So I'm not saying it's something that's so amazing that you should absolutely rush out and get it, but, you know, wouldn't be a bad addition to your collection if you're looking for maybe a different freshie this summer that doesn't smell exactly like all the other freshies, I have to say. It's a very watery orange smell with a little bit of zest. There's a nice zesty, fresh, spicy pop at the top, like a peppered orange in some ways, but super watery. That's the biggest thing. Super watery. Out the shower on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday. Kenneth Cole Mankind Unlimited. Moving into Friday, this was my first full wearing of this fragrance. I recently picked it up from Mancera. It's even better than I thought. This is really good. The dry down's really good. Fresh, airy, soft, and powdery in the dry down. But up top with Mancera So Blue, you're going to get a very bright, fresh, dominant, watered rose smell with some citruses. If you don't like fresh rose, you won't like this. If rose is too feminine for you, then this is too feminine for you. So there's a lot of this Turkish rose smell. I don't remember if it's just rose or Turkish rose. It smells like Turkish rose because it's very aquatic. It's a blue fragrance. A very light blue fragrance with some density to it. It's not overwhelming. I gotta say, the first hour is really strong. It's really strong. The second hour, still pretty much stays with you and doesn't go away. Not obnoxiously strong, but very present. But after the 2 hour mark, it gets softer and closer to the skin. With a more moderate to mild sillage that I noticed. I could have been nose blind to it. My wife didn't really give me too much feedback. because we were out and about all day. Because at the recording of this, it's Saturday, late in the afternoon Saturday. This was yesterday that I wore this, and we were out all day doing stuff. This performed really well. It kind of was just right to not overwhelm either of us while still being long-lasting. It wasn't too powdery to where she told me I smelled like baby powder. I kept going back to checking it. I'm doing the whole, my whole testing regimen while I was being mindful of it anyways. And this is actually pretty damn good. I don't know why this doesn't get more love. I like it quite a bit. It's up there for me. I think it's top 5 Mancera Fresh for me. I'm going to have to do a video on that, on ranking my top 5 fresh fragrances from Mancera, I think. Because I've got way more than 5 at this point. And I'm still testing them, don't get me wrong. Like I said, this, underappreciated, I think. Especially for those of you that like the fresh, watery rose fragrances. It's one of the better ones I've ever smelled. During the day, Mancera's So Blue. And then, like I said before, when I got out the shower last night, it was all about this again. So, ended up doing it 3 nights in a row. I don't have anything to add from the previous segment. Just know Out the Shower on Friday was Mankind Unlimited by Kenneth Cole. Finally, on Saturday, another one that's underappreciated, I think. It's basically a more woodsy YSL. Calvin Klein Defy Eau de Toilette. I like this way more than the Eau de Parfum, and I'm a fan of the Eau de Parfum. The Eau de Parfum is a fresh leather. You get orange and you get pepper, then it fades and it's all this leather suede accord that's created. It's very nice, versatile, fresh leather. It's kind of a blue leather, if you will. Very, very versatile, easy to wear leather accord. This, totally different fragrance, really. It's fresh, it's fruity, it's bright, sweet, fruity type of freshness at the top with a little bit of spice, but more so a nice dominated like vetiver and woods type of combo in the base. I'm spraying that again. I have 5 sprays around my neck. It's faded at this point. I've had it on for hours and hours. I've had it on for 6 hours at this point. I actually did get a little bit of it. But I mean, it's just around my neck. I don't have it on forearms to check it, but man, it's underappreciated right here, guys. This is a good blue fragrance. Especially if you like YSL. It's not, it lacks the aldehydes, so it actually doesn't smell as synthetic as YEDT, and I love YEDT. This is superior in some ways. I could see where this would be better for some people than Y Eau de Toilette. I quite dig this. Like, it's super underrated. When it comes to blues, I'm glad I have this. Underappreciated. This is a good blue fragrance, guys. More of a light blue fragrance overall, but a blue fragrance nonetheless. Like I said, fresh, fruity, sweet, a little fresh spiced, but mostly woodsy as it dries. Not real heavy on the musk, but on the woods, sure. This is good stuff. During the day, Calvin Klein Defy Eau de Toilette. And as advertised, when I get out of the shower in a little bit, because I will be showering within the next hour, it's going to be Kenneth Cole Mankind Unlimited once again. Be on the lookout. Make sure you subscribe to A Gentleman's Journey here on YouTube to see that review when it does come out in the next few weeks. Well, that was this week's rotation. Full of blues, as you can see. There's only, I mean, 1 barbershop fragrance and 1 smoky amber fragrance. Aside from that, it was all blues. It was literally all blues besides that. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What in this video do you have you tried? Are you interested in checking out? I'd definitely love to hear about it in the comments. Also, what'd you guys wear this week? I love knowing what you guys have been rocking from week to week. It's my favorite format. It's my favorite time to read the comments section. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these, minus this. You won't thank me later if you get this. But aside from this one, if you get your nose on any of these, you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.